Despite the pullbacks we've seen over the last couple of sessions, the NSE, in your view, very much still in a bull channel, right?
Yes, I think so. I mean, it's been doing this all year. We're up about 43% on the NSE 20, and we keep going in a rising bull channel. So I'm quite comfortable with the market. I think there's another 20% to go into year end.
Let's look at some of the news that the markets has to digest. And starting off with the fact that we've seen the CCK lower the interconnection fees charged by mobile phone network operators by half. Impact you see it having on a player like Safaricom, because certainly increasing volumes traded on that stock since the announcement was made.
Absolutely. It's got caught up in the crossfire of what is the second edition of this Zain price war. We had one a couple of years ago when they were under different ownership. And Thursday, Friday, we saw a sharp break lower in the share price, closing at 540, which I think is a 3-month low. I think quite a few investors last week got very nervous, were unable to exactly calibrate what's going on and how this will play out. Many are beginning to feel that, voice is now under permanent pricing, repricing pressure, and we're down here for a longer time than many people expected. So I think, the share price is traded defensively. I think it's a little bit overblown. I think Safaricom's all about the mobile wallet and also about the internet. And in both those areas, they're showing everybody a clean pair of heels. The mobile wallet, for example, they transferred 33 billion shillings last month over M-Pesa, which is 10% of Kenya's GDP. So really, they've got some monster new curves. I'm not too worried, but we got pressure on voice here.
With that pressure on voice, Safaricom has been adamant that it will not engage in price wars moving forward. They're seeing it as a very unsustainable model to work with moving forward. What do you see their strategy being moving forward with voice? Because while data and the mobile wallet provides very much a strong underpin, they've got to have somewhat of a concentration on lifting their voice business as well.
No, absolutely. I think, we're waiting. Everyone's waiting for their response. I think the reason they didn't respond first is because of a regulator trap that was being laid for them in a way to call them dominant. So I think they're going to wait till everybody's got their repricing in, and then they'll come back. I don't expect them to go to 1 shilling or right to the bottom, but I expect them to be pretty close to where Zain have come out at. I mean, they're not going to just roll over. Anyone who's thinking that is smoking some good marijuana, I think.
While Batu's entrance into Kenya has been somewhat of a pressure point for Safaricom, looking at where it has had a positive impact, it's on Scangroup specifically, a strong benefactor of Batu coming online. We had that share price hitting new all-time highs last week. It's been trading between 44 shillings and 45 shillings and that range. What's your view on Scangroup at the moment?
I think there's still much more to go. The shares are very tightly held. WPP have locked up about 27%. The rest of them are pretty closely held. And really, it's a breakthrough trade, this Airtel win. They took over Ogilvy. Barath was very much stuck in a box in Kenya. He was looking to break out for at least 3 years. And the takeover of Ogilvy, subsequently confirmed with the Airtel account win, confirmed he's broken out of the box and he's gone regional and he's making money off the bat. I think the share price probably goes towards 50 and could squeeze high, because I think institutions as a whole are underweight the advertising media area and therefore underweight Scangroup.
Are you bulking up in that specific arena at the moment?
Yes, I don't see much downside on the charts. I think you can go down to 41, 42, but I think we're headed above 50. And I think, there is the potential for a further squeeze just because there's very little supply out there. And there seems to me to be a lack of exposure by domestic, international institutions on the advertising sector, which looks to be in a very sweet spot across the region.
Well, now may well be the time to be jumping onto that bandwagon. We've seen Scangroup's share price rise 24.6% over the past month alone. Interesting that it's Scangroup and Cooperative Bank that have been pinned as the current outliers at the bourse. Cooperative Bank also touching a new all-time highs at around 1790. We know that it enjoys the cooperative base as support. How are you playing the banking sector as a whole right now, Aly Khan?
Well, I think, you've had some fantastic returns, especially from middle March when things like CFC have rallied 125%. Co-op Bank is up about 65% since then. And it's highly correlated to the recovering economy, which I think is going to outperform most baseline expectations. But looking at it right now, it looks a little bit overbought to me, especially in the big cap banking stocks. I'd prefer to be playing KCB, which has been unfairly sold off and is trading at a discount of about 50% to its peers.
Of course, KCB in the spotlight because through its rights issue, it's set to put to action extending its regional footprint. On that note, Aly Khan, your view on the news that we've heard out of South Africa this weekend, where HSBC is vying for a stake in the country's Nedbank?
I think we're at a tipping point. I think banking stocks are underpriced across this continent, and I think you're going to see a great deal of M&A activity and the big banks looking to pick up real estate rather aggressively now, I think.